welcome back to Asian Pug, and today we're just gonna be playing some regular Fortnite, and there'll be multiple videos about this, but I just want to talk about this place that I really hated. From like, I only went for like 2 years, but I quit. But I have a lot to say about it, and I really did not like it. I mean, you could like it, I won't judge, but me personally, I'm gonna tell you my experience about the place. So, just enjoy the video, like and subscribe and comment, share the video. Not forcing you, you want to, just do it. So, basically, this place is called Kumon, and here's the story how I got placed in it in like a few days of me being in Kumon. So, in Kumon is basically like a study place, I guess, like extra studying, so, for nerds. So yeah, so like I went there, and at this time I was like around 6th grade, so I was like not like I was like beginning the school year of 6th grade, and at that time life was not that great. But like the moment I reached middle school, I was like, whoa, this is like a whole new building to what I was used to back then. I was like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This is a whole different building. I'm not even used to this. So like, I don't even know where to go to my classes. I'm like so confused. Like, yeah, after all that confusion and stuff, all the material, just hit me. I'm like, yo, I have no clue what am I doing. And like, meanwhile in 6th grade, I'm like, wait, I have no clue what I am doing. So all this, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm like, yo, and I'm just like failing classes left and right. I'm so just awful. I don't know what I'm doing this. And all of a sudden, I'm failing this Kumon because my parents think I didn't do so good, so like, they put me in there, give me a little better. So I could, like, you know, do better in school. Then, so the first day when I went to Kumon, I was like, I hated it. I didn't even want to go. Like, doing extra stuff besides school and clubs, I guess, in school, or not my thing. Like, I did not want to be there. So that stuff, and when I was in there, I was like thinking about, like, do I really want to commit to this? But like, I didn't really have a choice. I was thinking, so, I mean, I didn't have a choice if I wanted to go or not. I was just thinking about it. Oh, then they're like, Ryan, and they're like, and I was like, I already started to like this. And they're like, Ryan, you have to go in and, like, you know, do whatever this test is they make you do before you do it to see what level you're at. So my parents told them that I'm in 6th grade, and I'm like there. I'm not even gonna try, to be honest. I was like, to be honest, I wasn't even trying. I was like, I don't want to be here. The whole time I was just thinking about when I get back home, I want which game I'll play. So like, me thinking about that, me like taking this weird test to see what plus I am. The first paper they gave me, I got a literal 68% out of this. They're like, yo, your son is like sped. Like, whoa, your son is sped. And at this time I wasn't even trying, to be honest. That was like something like I don't know, 4th grader could do. And I was like, I wasn't even trying. I didn't even care. So like, I guess they put me like special needs or whatever. I don't know, because they taught me a lot. Their classes were super easy. Like, they were easy as hell. Like, and I was like, And then, so all of that, I was like, I don't like this class. I don't like this place I'm going to. So I would never. So in my head, I kept yelling, fruit box, and I was like, So I did not want it to be there. In my head, I was like, why? So after that little test thing, they kept saying that I wasn't doing so well and stuff. So, and then when I actually came to the class, they sat me down and were like, alright, let's first study. and I was like looking at the material, and I was like, yo, why is this so easy? And I realized I did not care about things. So I was like, oh, that's why. So it was kind of funny in the first few days, to be honest, about it, because like I didn't even try. So how awkward. And then like after all that weirdness about like how I kind of just did not try, and I kept complaining it was too easy, and probably got this. But even that was so repetitive, because like in my mind I'm like, yo, this is like so easy, like to the point where I can literally probably get in this class and go like be done with all the stuff in like 5 minutes and just get out. And I'm like, so why am I preparing to do all this for it not to help me? And to be honest, meanwhile I was all do this kumon stuff, I was improving in 6th grade. So all this kumon stuff, I was improving in 6th grade. And then I'm still in kumon at this time, so I'm like, why am I still doing this? It's like, why? Why am I even in here anymore? I don't like want to be in here anymore. So I kept telling my parents that, but they said, yeah, it's good for me, it's good for me. And then I'm like, no, it's not even helping. And I'm like, and they're like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. I kept doing like this, repeating that it was not helping me, and I don't want to do it anymore. So like, yeah, I kept teaching them that I didn't want to do it, so I wouldn't have to do it. So I wouldn't have to do it. And after all of that, I was still in kumon, and I was like, I was not about to do this. So I kept complaining, and I was still in the classes, even though I didn't want to do it. And like, it was like, it was one of a thing. And then, so after all of that, after this, like this one moment of kumon, I just snapped. Like I started bawling. Like at this time, I am not as old as I was, and I was like not that mature to the point where I could handle like stress a lot. Like I was like, So that specific day of kumon, I was like very tired. I did not want to do it. And then I was like super tired, and then the teacher who was teaching me there, not even the teacher, it was like some manager or whatever, she started like, like she was hopping, like in my mind I was like, hop off, and I was like, no, just hop off. And I didn't even want to do anything that day. And they were like, hey, stop punching your back. Stop writing so slow. You have to do it faster. And you start adding it down. And at this point, I snapped. I was like, in all the questions. I was like, And I kept turning in over and over, repeating the same steps. In, out, kept telling me to retry. And at one point, I snapped. I put my head down. And then the moment she told me that I couldn't put my head down one more time, I started bawling. I started bust out crying. I was like, not crying, like bawling because of some heartbreak or something, emo stuff. But I was like crying. And then she was like, why are you crying? And I'm like, because of you. And then she was like, what? And then she was like, yeah, and all that. And I didn't even want to do anything. So like after all that weird stuff, she was like, yeah, why are you crying? And then the moment when they start, just try to palm again, do this, do that. And then after that, I just started snapping. I started roasting them. Like I literally started bawling, but I literally started like dissing their whole entire business. Like when the teacher told me like, just try the game one more time. I said, this is pointless. This is nothing to me. This literally does nothing. Every single day I go here, I probably just do it. It's because I'm forced to. This isn't helping me. And then they're like, yes it is, and all that stuff. And like, and one of them started calming me down and saying, I don't want to be here either. I'm like, okay then, how about you go? And like, just quit the job. And I'm like, saying all the ideas of what they said. They're like, just quit the job. hated working here so much, just quit the job. And then I'm like, these people don't really hate their job, they're just trying to calm me down. And then, so when the manager comes on server again, and like, I don't want all this negativity, and I'm like, nah. But I'm like, you know what's negative? This business. And I'm sorry, every single part of this business that is boring. Like, I start making fun of it left and right. Left and right, I kept making fun of it. I was like, not about to do this all this stuff. So at one point, I just snapped. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. After that, I just kept complaining. I would probably give them ear rape or something. Because eventually, they were like, you know what, here's the answers and just go home. And I'm like, hooray, because I knew what I did. And then little company kumon, snitch. Like, little female, I saw female, they snitch. How nice. And then my dad and my parents are like, why did you do all that? I'm like, this is pointless. I hated this. Nobody wants to be here. Literally so pointless. Not I'm literally getting my lows. I'm literally doing better in 6th grade now. Why am I still here? And they're saying it's still good for me. So I'm like, no, it's not. And I'm super tired of this point of kumon. So at this point, I'm like, trying to prevent me doing anything but working. So like, I would just start, like when I'm saying this, no joke, I just kept bothering him and telling him, hey, do you need help with this and that and this and that? I'm like low-key trying to help out the business, trying to make it more popular or whatever. And like, you know, doing all that. It's boring. I don't want to do it. So in my head, nobody else wants to do this, and I'm probably right. Nobody else probably wants to do this, and I'm just going on and on and on and on and on and on about how this establishment is dumb and nobody likes it. So, and yeah. And so I just start helping them out, like, you know, you want me to grade these papers for them? I'll do it. I'll do it all. And at one point, this new manager, they're like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be studying. So I'm like, no, I'm not. And to be honest, everybody else but him at this point probably realized that I probably skipped time. And fun fact, I have to do 2 things. Homework from school and homework from school. I'm like, wait, if I'm trying to get better by doing this place to get better at school, so that means I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't be doing some kumon stuff over my schoolwork. I'm like, wait, that's correct. So at that point, I'm like, oh wow, new idea. Like, how about I just don't do that. And that's what I did. I did not do any of my homework. They kept yelling about it, but eventually they just like quit because they can never get through it. And fun fact, my dad really doesn't know that good of English. So like every time they try to tell them something, they would like very, very rarely that I would actually, you know, get in trouble. Well, I would get in trouble because my dad, I don't understand it. But like, so I didn't want to do there, and like I just tried to avoid doing everything, so I didn't have to do work. And it kind of worked, to be honest. I didn't really have to do work until she came back and made me do work, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, nah, I'm good, and she just kept nagging until I just finally, you know what, I would just instead, you know. So yeah, so I just like eventually started just doing my work and stuff. And I'm like, why do I have to do this? I don't want to do this. This is like boring. Super boring. So yeah, after all this boring stuff about talking about all that. I was just kept nagging my parents to let me finally be free from kumon. But they never did. So like, yep, that's how kumon went for me. And I just accepted that was my life now. And yeah, so eventually I went all the way from kumon to all the way to 7th grade. So 7th grade, right? 7th grade. This is probably the closest I've ever been to saying that I quit, because my parents kind of agreed that I haven't really been improving that much since I've been kind of doing not that good in 7th grade. But like, my parents still tried to defend kumon by saying they did somewhat of a good job. So I'm just like, this. Yeah, I'm just like over it. I just accept the fact that I probably won't get out of kumon. So yeah, that's the beginning of part of kumon. There's a lot more to talk about with kumon in my experience, but yeah. So that's like a lot of what kumon is for the most part in my part 1. But yeah, like kumon, not my thing. And like the schedule for kumon is like only like 2 days. But like those 2 days were like so like, why I just start questioning, why did I ever stop like a one day that I legitimately thought I was gonna go in there and start studying whatever. And at this time it was super easy. Cause like in the beginning I was like even listening and they thought I was fed and all that, so they gave me super easy stuff. So I got it out like 1 or 2 minutes. I'm like keep doing this over and over, repeating. And I'm like, wow. And after all that, there's like some tests. So then I want to give out one test that I did, and that test was the first test I did, and I like low-key didn't even try. At this point, they kept threatening me about calling my dad, and I'm like actually kind of listening because I don't really want to get my dad involved with this. So yeah, so they got my dad involved, which is dumb and stupid because they got my dad involved. So yeah, so I wasn't really trying, didn't really do no work, and then yeah, then they said that I have to try or else they'll tell my dad that I'm trying, and I eventually did try. Still got such a bad grade, but I didn't try that hard. I wasn't like bawling my eyes out if I didn't get a good grade. I mean, it's just kumon. It's not gonna hurt my reputation anyways. Like, how is this gonna hurt my reputation? And plus, my friends were super annoyed at me because I was like doing this dumb kumon, even though I was literally so like fast. Like what they say about the kumon was like so fast. Like fast. So the first test, I was doing the test, and then all of a sudden, you know, I just start tripping again because I didn't want to do it. And then after like I was tripping, like I was like, no, why? Let me out of this torture. And then after all that, I finished all the tests in my head. Like in my head I was like, fine, I'm done. I was like, yay, I did it. I finally finished. And I didn't really want to do anything but that, so I was like, nah. So I was like, it's like so dumb. So yeah, that's basically the story of my kumon days for part 1. But I was like, no, not about to do this. Oh, if you was looking at the background and not just listening to my story, that's my friend Tyler. And he's wants me to go right now. But kumon's more important. Right now. So like, yeah, so my friends kept saying that kumon's pointless, and I agreed with them so much. Like, it was very pointless. Very pointless. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Do it, and I'm not going to do it. So like, after all that, struggling to convince them that I don't want to do it anymore, I finally was free, and I didn't have to do it anymore. But there's a lot of steps I missed when talking about kumon. Eventually I did get free from talking about, free from doing kumon. But like, there's like a whole bunch of more stories I have about kumon, but like, I might create a part 2 if this video gets at least like 50 views maybe. But yeah, so that's how my kumon part 1 is going. So yeah, that's how I first started kumon. If you ever, anybody tell you that you should go to kumon, my experience, I was there for like three years. My experience, most horrible at everything I used. You never want to do it again. Like, to be honest, the only way I'm gonna do it again if I get paid. To be honest, I don't want to do kumon. It was a big waste of my time. And the funny thing is that every single month, my two parents have to pay $100 for like 10 minutes of me going in there, getting out with just like a paper. Wow, that was so much. So they are getting $100 from my parents for literally basically doing nothing. How nice. So I'm like, this is not good for me, neither is my parents. And I'm like, so I didn't even want to do this anymore. So eventually I got through and I got to quit. But I'll make a second video about how I quit. The exact details of how I quit. But yeah, so that's basically the part of kumon. So if you guys have been watching the background, I'm about to win this, and that's what we're gonna talk about now. That's the part 1 of my kumon story. So let's do this. Alright, let's just eliminate everybody. Yeah. The process that I have on my screen right now, you won't get banned for using it, so it's good. So if you have it, you can use it and stuff. So yeah, I'll make a video about how you can actually get this. Don't worry, I'll make a video about how to do it. Probably I'll release it. I'll probably do that like on Sunday. That's why I generally post this, but kumon was just a little too much interesting for me not to post about, talk about and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I have to talk about this. So after all this talking about kumon and stuff, I'm like, yo, this is not even that good. So yeah. Well, that's the story of how I got kumon, and I'll probably just end the video here. Well, like and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a great day. Never go to kumon. Bye!